Welcome to the Allen Kerr Advisors 5th quarter postgame show. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Allen Kerr Advisors 5th quarter postgame show. All right, everybody, take a breath for a second, and everybody relax. It's only week 2, but joined by my partners in crime this week, Marcus MC Carlton from the NEA, and of course the beard behind the board, Jesse the Beard Thurman. Boys, how we doing?
I'm fine. This is what I expected. I never got excited at 21-7 because just like I told Jesse before we came on, my first thought was, how are we going to screw this up?
Well, and I mean, based on past experience, okay.
Yeah.
This was par for the course.
Yep.
You know, Jesse, what about you, man?
Aggravated and also kind of surprised. There towards the end, neither team wanted to win and kept giving it away.
Yeah, man, they both teams really just kind of went off the deep end with this, trying to see who could out-dumb the other one with the penalties.
Yeah. Got a lot of things to cover on the post-game show. Of course, you know, your questions, comments, stones to throw. But Arkansas falls to Oklahoma State in 2 overtimes, 39-31. Oh, man. Let's start with some positives first, if there are any.
Okay. Oh, there's a few. There's a few.
I like the way Travis Williams has a new fan in me. I can tell you that right now. All right. Our defense played really well. Really, really, really well.
You hold Oklahoma State to less than 400 total yards of offense on a game that goes to double overtime.
Yes. Yes. And I would just like to do one thing, and that is feed Jesse his first helping of crow when he said on the pregame show that Ollie Gordon would have 100 yards by halftime. Okay, I'm done taking pot shots at our executive producer, just so he doesn't.
Like I said in the group chat, Zach, I prefer my crow smoked with Wright's barbecue sauce.
There you go.
Guess what? I know somebody who can smoke meats that lives down the street from me. Unfortunately, though, he's getting married next Saturday, so that we might have to wait a little bit on that.
Man,
but,
final stats on Ollie Gordon: 17 carries, 49 yards for an average of 2.9. And then the only TD that matters was Ollie Gordon's.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically invisible for 98% of the game.
He was. But, guys, 4 turnovers, okay?
Yeah, you're not going to beat anybody with 4 turnovers.
If you hold on to the ball, Arkansas wins that game by double digits, I promise you. And this thing doesn't go to overtime. You blow a 21-7 lead at halftime. 21-7. You let Oklahoma State score 30 unanswered points, 30-ish unanswered points. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this as nicely as humanly possible because I'm going to flirt with my one rule. But our special teams is garbage. Not the players. Collectively.
Scott Fountain.
Special teams have been a problem for 5 years now.
MC, I'm telling you right now, dude. Isaiah Satania getting put on his butt twice by his own dude is unacceptable.
Yeah, Jesse and I were talking about that when you stepped away a while ago, right before we came on. Jesse and I were talking about that. It's like when he calls for fair catch, get the hell away from him.
Get the hell away from him.
Let the defenders run him over. It's 15 free yards.
I don't understand.
Okay, Jesse, I want to pull up Steven Snyder's comment real quick about leaving points on the board.
Yeah,
I had that one queued up in mind.
What do you boys think about this? Because I don't necessarily hate the call to go for 4th down right there.
I don't either, but at that point, I didn't have faith in our kicker.
it's a tough call either way, because if you line him up to kick and he misses it, everybody's like, well, what the hell? You got Bobby Petrino calling plays. You got to go for it on fourth down. You go for it on fourth down. You don't get it. Why don't you kick the ball? Kick the ball. That's a tough call, man.
That's how Arkansas fans are.
I mean, that's a tough call, because it's truly. I was talking with a coaching buddy of mine during the game. He's like, what do you do here? I'm like, man, I don't know. I was like, this is a tough situation.
Put up Robert Ashley right above it, Jesse. Okay, this right here.
Yeah.
Taylon Green, you had a wide open, I want to say it was Armstrong.
It was.
Wide open Armstrong who could have walked into the end zone.
Actually, it was not Armstrong, because it was a wheel route.
Yep, it was. Who was that?
It would have been Rodney Hill. Is that the kid's name?
Rodney Hill. He also missed Armstrong earlier in the game. He underthrew it and allowed the defender to catch up and break up the pass.
Yeah.
It would have been a touchdown.
Two wide open touchdowns. And you can't complete the pass? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to mirror what MC said in pre-show. I don't think Taylon Green's the answer.
From what I saw today, and I only got to see the second half, because first half I was at my son's game and I was relegated to audio only. Sounded like he played pretty solid in the first half. But second half, man, when things got tight, he seemed to kind of
fall apart.
Well, I don't want to say completely fell apart, but I would think the moment got to him.
If you guys want in on the action, leave us a question or comment in the Camp Productions live fan feedback. We're letting it all air out within reason. My whole thing is your number one thing as a quarterback is what? Move the ball downfield, correct?
Yes.
So tell me why, on 3 different occasions that I remember, Taylon Green ran 15 yards the other direction. You don't run backwards.
Well, and the last sack he took, you absolutely positively cannot take a sack in that situation.
No.
That's the only one I have a problem with, was that final play of the first overtime before we missed the field goal, taking the sack. The other times he created space, got something open, and at least got rid of the ball.
Yep.
I'm not going to knock him on his athleticism. I don't care if he runs back to his own goal line. As long as it's a no loss or positive play, he can run wherever he wants to.
Yeah, but
you can't take a sack in that position. Running backwards is what scored him the touchdown against UAPB. And he got a few open passes today by running and leaving the defenders stumbling over themselves.
Okay, but at the same time, all right, does the bad outweigh the good in this? All right, because I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't anybody come at me with a damn moral victory speech. A loss is a freaking loss. Now,
it's another one-score loss for Pittman.
Okay, it is. However, does that fall on Pitt? Because the team showed fight.
They did show fight, but you have a plethora of dumb penalties. Yep. 7 penalties for 71 yards.
Some of those were questionable, though, MC. All right. Some of those DPIs,
well, I can't comment because I didn't see them all.
Well, Jesse, you saw the game, right?
I saw the game.
Most of those
penalties
DPIs
were there. They committed them.
I have to disagree. Some of those DPIs just didn't. I don't know.
He ranked him before the ball got there. That's defensive pass interference. They didn't call it all game, but by definition, it was pass interference.
Well, and I think that's why you saw the defender have the reaction he had, because they had not called it to that point. And that is frustrating, because you want to see consistency. If you're going to let it go early, you got to let it go late. You can't change your mindset depending on the situation of the game if you're an official. That's my take on it.
It's definitely a tale of two halves. Okay.
By far, yeah.
That first half, oh my God. I was like, okay, here we go. Sustainability. It's carrying over from UAPB. And
Chuck and Quinn and I think it's Gino Bell that does the sideline.
Yeah.
Dude, Gino was beside himself. He was getting his words he was so excited that he was getting kind of tongue-tied. Yeah. And at one point He said the sideline was lit, and crunk. And then, no, what's even funnier is when Chuck turned around and repeated it, because you got the whitest guy ever, Chuck Barrett, saying lit, and crunk.
Yeah.
And it cracked me up. You know, people were looking at me like I had a mental problem because I was sitting there at the ball game laughing.
But you 10 points on 4 turnovers. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this because DMAT is watching from somewhere. The season's not over yet. Look. Before anybody comes at me with, you're just a sunshine pumper. The hell I am. The hell I am. All right. I am the last person to be called a sunshine pumper. I'm a realist. Okay. I call it like I see it. It's week 2. All right. You got UAB coming in here next week. We knew this was going to be a shootout. We knew this from the get-go.
Yeah, all of our score predictions were all pretty high.
I got the closest this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
34-31.
Yeah, but you picked the wrong team to win, Zach.
That's
beside the point. He got the numbers right.
Can you let me just have this one? Just one time.
Nope.
You ain't right. You know that? You're not right.
Oh, man.
You're not wrong.
I got to go back to penalties, Zach. There's another penalty, and this is the penalty that aggravated me more than any penalty I've seen all day.
All right.
Addison Nichols with a false start. You were the center. You don't move till you snap the ball. He literally came off the ball to block and left the ball sitting there.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. Not gonna lie.
Well, and
that one irked me.
That one is one that, everybody talks about how it's a milder, calmer, more laid back Bobby Petrino. That's one that in that situation that will bring the true BMFP back to the surface. Because if you guys remember, he would lose his mind on penalties like that.
Yeah, and for a while they wouldn't show Bobby Petrino on the sideline. Did you notice? Did y'all notice that? For a while, they would not show Bobby Petrino on the sideline.
After Taylon Green fumbled the snap, they showed him for a second talking to Taylon. It was not a friendly conversation.
Yeah.
It was very one-sided.
Oh, yeah.
You can't look away before you take possession of the ball as quarterback on a snap.
No, you can't.
It was clear as day on the replay. He looks away.
Yeah.
Ball hits him in the hands, goes to the ground. We end up not converting on that drive.
I want to list one thing, though, and I want you guys to get in on this. The very last play, okay, 4th and 1 in the double overtime.
Hated the play call.
I'm going to say this, and to my sponsors, I apologize. Who in the blue hell thought it was a good idea to say, hey, we're on 4th and 1, let's run it up the middle?
Well, and not only that, but if you go back and look at that play, you had 3 blockers lining up against 4 defenders. You don't have Jaquindon Jackson that you're handing the ball off to. You have a running back that is about half his size. So, I mean, that play was doomed from the get-go.
I
don't understand that one.
It doesn't get any more heartbreaking than this, And again,
don't say that. They'll take that as a challenge.
Well, very true.
I'm going to defend that play call, Zach.
Why? How?
Okay, lay it on me. I want to hear this.
Earlier in the game, the play call that should have been made right there, that quick pitch to the running back outside to hit the corner, Jaquindon Jackson put it on the ground because his ball security is questionable. That's the only knock I have against him.
Yeah.
And it spooked him because that was the perfect opportunity to run that pitch play to the outside and walk it into the end zone.
Okay.
But after a fumble, they got scared and wouldn't go for it another time.
Okay. Then there's the other play. There was the other one of Jaquindon Jackson just completely missing the handoff. Like, just completely missed it. And Taylon Green just standing there going, what?
That happened a couple times.
And then there was another play.
Wait, that's not what we practiced.
There was another play. If we're, as long as we're picking on Jackson here, I'm going to pile on him because there was another play where he lined up on the wrong side of Taylon Green. The play was supposed to go to him. Green turned to hand off the ball to him, and he wasn't there. We end up getting sacked for a loss on that play. I think that was late third quarter when that play happened.
This is why I told everybody that said, "You're starting to drink the Kool-Aid." The hell I am, as MC and I take a drink. MC,
this is my doom and gloom potion.
What you drinking? Because it looks like the same thing I'm drinking over here.
The Great Value purple.
Hawaiian Punch.
It's my doom and gloom potion. I'm going to call it.
Juice box. Juice box. I don't know. It just to me it just seemed like we just ran out of gas. We literally went from a very improved football team in the first half. Went into the locker room, watched Polar Express, came out and went.
It was obvious that Oklahoma State made some halftime adjustments because some of the things that were open in the first half, some of the plays that were going big chunk plays were not quite there in the second half until probably midway through the fourth quarter.
So, you know what? I'm going to save that for after the break. Hey, Jesse, let's run Harris Made because it didn't get ran in the pregame show. Give them a little.
It got ran in the pregame show.
Did it? Okay. I didn't know my signal was messed up. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we know at least one fan that had a great day. We were going to show you pictures of that. Coming right back on the Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter postgame show right after this.
Hi, I'm Allen Kerr, president and founder of Allen Kerr Advisors. As an advisor group, our goal is to ensure a positive reputation with government agencies and legislative bodies to provide timely and proactive solutions for all of our clients. We have successfully represented our clients with targeted campaigns that get results. Our focus is on the insurance industry, but we're experts in other areas of business as well. We're a full-service, nationwide advisor group with legislative and regulatory relationship networks in all 50 states. We can assist companies in getting their first certificate of operation and then help them expand nationwide. We can also help businesses create and launch new products, setting up standard risk pools, and creating captive entities. So, if you're planning a company expansion, if you plan to create a captive, if you have a dispute with a regulator, or if you need an expert witness to win your case, if you're planning a merger or acquisition, or if you just need legislative guidance or access, your next call should be to Allen Kerr Advisors. Give us a call or click that contact button on the top of our website at allenkerradvisors.com.
All right, welcome back to the Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter postgame show. Marcus, MC, Carlton, Jesse, the Beard Thurman. I'm Razorback Zach. Arkansas falls in their first loss of the season in 2 overtimes, 39-31. Now, Arkansas may have lost, but y'all got to check this out. This was sent to us by one of our fans, Carolyn Williams. Most of you know her as Razorback Girl. But check this out. All right, this is little Evie. She's a year old, 13 months. All right, she was cheering the Hogs on all the way from Roanoke, Virginia. All right. She was rocking it out. She could be a future cheerleader there. All right. So big thank you to Carolyn Williams for sending in those photos. And we have a future Razorback cheerleader in our midst. So
she's getting exposed to the heartbreak early on, man.
You know what? Get them started early. Get them started early. Hey, and also big thank you to everybody that showed up to Boudreaux's this afternoon, or this morning rather. We had our usual contingents of ITHP fans along with everybody else there for the Roger Scott Razorback watch party there at Boudreaux. So if anybody's in the Central Arkansas area, we will be putting out when we are going to be back there. We try to usually make it there about every away game, depending on things. And so let's jump right back into this. And I got to give credit where credit is due. I've been dogging on Hudson Clark for over a year.
My boy.
Hood Island, baby.
Oh, shut. I knew you were going to say that.
I have been a Hudson defender on this show since I joined.
Mm.
I knew you were going to say that.
He is he's a polarizing figure, we'll put it that way. Oh man. It's like Zach's having a little technical issue there with his camera. He may just be gagging after all the Hudson Clark talk there. I don't know. That may be part of the problem.
It's a good possibility.
Hey, Jesse, I want to throw you a question here. I saw this on Twitter, and I'm gonna steal this from somebody on Twitter. They had a poll up on their account, and I don't remember whose it was, or I'd give them props. Who's most to blame today? Offense, defense, special team, or coaching?
Special teams, 100%.
Okay. Defend your point. I'm not saying I disagree. I just want to hear your reasoning.
You have Isaiah Satania getting tackled by his own player twice on fair catches.
One resulting in a muff.
One resulting in a turnover. Also, you have 2 crucial missed field goals. We knew the kicker position with Cam going pro was going to be an issue this year, and it's reared its head early in the season. Yeah. You hold on to that muff, you make one of those field goals, and it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
they got momentum, and that muff just gave it to them that much more. And that was the game had already turned at that point.
Yeah,
but that was the nail in the coffin for me.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm having a little audio difficulty. Jesse, if you check my audio and let me know.
So what I tend to agree with you, Jesse, because when you can feel, as a fan, I feel it when the momentum starts to shift. So the players feel it. When that momentum starts to shift, you've got to find a way to make a play to shut that down and not let Uncle Mo completely switch sidelines.
Yeah, but at the same time, MC, our defense was doing that. Our defense was trying. Yeah. Our defense was the only reason this thing was as close as it was.
It's hard for me to put any blame on the defense today.
Oh God, no. I don't. Now, I feel like
they had a couple of missed assignments, but that's going to happen. No defense is going to play perfect. You're going to have missed assignments at some point in the game.
Speaking of Carolyn Williams, the last 2 comments, Jesse, when you get a chance. Says, I feel we are not as aggressive as we should have been in the second half. We went from trying to win to trying not to lose. That's got to be the statement for Arkansas football.
So that begs the question. Did Sam put on some handcuffs? Or did we just not execute like we did in the first half?
I don't think we executed like we did in the first half.
I'm with Zach on that one. The play call that we had, I felt were put an end to them. We just didn't execute. We fumbled snaps. We dropped passes.
I honestly think that Oklahoma State made major adjustments to their defense, and that really rattled us. And it rattled us to the point where we started to panic. Because you can tell that the offense was starting to panic a lot. A lot.
Carolyn, you do have a lot from man to zone, and that's when they got their tempo working, and that really wore down the defense in the third quarter.
They started finding that soft spot in the zone. Basically, they started doing to us what it sounded like on the radio we were doing to them in the first half, because from the way Chuck and Quinn made it sound, they were playing a lot of zone defense in the first half, and Bobby, doing Bobby things, was calling up plays to hit that soft spot in the zone with those crossing routes like we had grown so accustomed to, and it was just taking advantage of them left and right. And then when we changed our defense, they flipped around and started doing that to us.
Well, let's not remember one of the biggest penalties that Arkansas had, and that was that stupid boneheaded body slam.
Was the power bomb?
Yeah, power bomb. This ain't the WWE. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. However, you don't make a stupid play like that.
Well, and up to that point, Xavier Story had played an amazing game at linebacker. He had an amazing game all night long. And then most of what everybody's going to remember is the big power bomb that got the penalty.
He shut down Ollie Gordon.
It really did, yeah.
Ollie Gordon couldn't handle Xavier Sorey in his face.
No.
And every time he touched the ball, right there in his grill, he saw number 10.
And I'll say
behind
this,
the line of scrimmage most of the time.
In regards to Xavier Story, thank you, Kirby Smart, for stockpiling 5 stars to the point to where Xavier Story felt like he had to transfer. Thank you, sir. I'll send you a Christmas ham.
Yes.
That dude can play, man. He's a stud.
He is. You got Loki in the comments here. I think the whole team was tired in the second half, and the most tired-looking dude in the stadium was Pitt.
So I got a stat for you. Arkansas is now 5-15 in one-score games under Sam Pittman.
But we covered the spread again.
Doesn't matter.
Parlay is intact, baby.
We also had almost another 700 yards on offense, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I had told you guys I was going to point this out prior to when we went on air. Looking at the stats, Arkansas won basically every stat except the one that matters, the final score. 649 yards total offense, 416 passing yards, 233 rushing yards, 33 first downs, 11 of 19 on third down. If you just blindly read that stat line off, you think there's no way they lose that game.
Well, this is
that's a 2-touchdown win.
Yeah.
This is not what I had envisioned when Sam Pittman said, "Embrace the hog." All right, this is not what I wanted to see, but it's kind of on par with what we thought. MC.
Well,
it's literally on par for what we've seen.
I mean, I told you guys as the game was wrapping up, I told you guys I was like, I'm not even mad because I expected this. I have grown to expect the meltdown now. I don't get excited when we get a 10-plus point lead. I don't get excited until it's about 28 points because I feel like we're going to do something to choke it away.
I made it an absolute point to say in our team chat, the season's not over yet. Because everybody knows I'm that doom and gloom kind of guy that I'm going to send Dylan the text that says, oh, season's over. It ain't over yet. It ain't. But I'm not mad at the outcome. It stings because 21-7, you shut this team down for one half. And then you did the most Arkansas thing ever and just didn't play in the second half, which is what Sam Pittman is known for. This is an exact replica of last year, but he said that it was because former players and former coaches and former staff not buying in. Okay. Yeah. Turns out that may not be the case.
Yeah, that dog won't hunt now. No. That dog won't hunt.
This one, but in defense of Sam Pittman, you left like 21 points on the field because of player execution. Okay. You can't point that on a coach.
Yeah, no, you can look, they can dial up the smartest play possible. And if the players can't execute it, what are you going to do?
Now, there was one point where I thought Sam had turned a corner, more or less, when he decided to casually flip off the refs and then hold his arms out and go, "You got to be kidding me."
I saw some of that on Twitter.
That I was like, okay, Sam's getting a little mean dog in him. Okay. And then he decided to prove me completely wrong again. But so MC, you're obviously holding your Kool-Aid jugs until basketball. But
son, I'm Jacques Cousteau in the Kool-Aid on basketball. I am a deep sea diving dude right now.
So week 2, are you already turning apathetic toward the football team? I did. I put you on the spot, and I'm sorry.
No. I mean, no, apathetic, no. I'm not really surprised. You know, I predicted a close, heartbreaking loss today, which is what we ended up with. I went a little higher on the point total than what it ended up, but you know, the basically what I said was going to happen happened. I did not expect to jump out to a 21-7 lead. Now,
You were close.
I was close.
45-41.
Yeah. I said 45-41. So
Yeah. So you were close.
Apathetic, no, because I'm not surprised. Now, if we come out and lay an egg and like barely squeak by UAB, I may lose a little juice. I might not be turning up the juice box as much.
This, like I said, this one's a heartbreaker in the worst kind of way. But unfortunately, it was an expected heartbreaker for most, if not all, of Razorback Nation. All right. Now I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you were drinking the Kool-Aid thinking we were gonna start blowing through people after last week, you slept walk through week 1. All right. You slept walk through week 1. All right. The three of us by ourselves could have beat UAPB.
UAPB's bad, y'all. They're bad.
With Dylan calling the offense, Sarah calling special teams, and Loki calling the defense. See what I did there? I included the whole team of ITH.
Yeah, I see that. And Sarah on special teams. I like that one.
Hey, she was the one last year that said she's trying out for kicker.
Yeah.
Why not put her as special teams head coach? It's better than what we saw
You want to read
today.
Loki, or you want me to read it?
I got it.
Okay.
Loki, wise man, says, I think we built up a false confidence after putting the beat down on UAPB junior varsity squad, and expected to come in there and stomp all over the other team again, thinking they couldn't possibly catch up. So they left nothing for the second half, thinking they wouldn't need it. This is a wake-up call to the team and the fan base in my eyes. Hopefully things will get better from here. We will see. And in the words of the great Paul Heyman, that is not a spoiler. Go ahead and finish it, MC.
It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
Not a prediction, it's a spoiler. See, I even screwed that up. So sue me. But what are our fans saying, Jesse? What are they talking about?
Let's see what we got going on. Jonathan Parker coming in. How does Green not keep the ball on the last play? It's a good question.
You know, that's a good question. We haven't addressed that, but if you look at the replay on that, if Green pulls that out and keeps it, he walks into the end zone.
You think he was scared, or do you think he was gassed, or do you think they didn't trust him? I mean, there's
I don't know.
multiple answers there. That's the thing, is there are multiple answers there.
I think there's a lot they can take from this game and go to the film room and look at a lot of different places and be like, okay, Talon, what was your thinking here? What was your mindset on this? You know, when you and then we had another play earlier in the game where we ran that little read option, and it was almost like Jaquindon Jackson and Talon Green didn't communicate ahead of time, and they were kind of fighting over who was going to take the ball, and it ended up in a loss. And we have to put a spotlight on the play of Jaquindon Jackson, even though he got kind of banged up in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude had about 165 or 170 total yards of offense.
Yeah, Jesse, do you
Three
have those,
scores?
Do you have those stats?
While I'm pulling those up, if you tuned into that game not knowing anything about college football and were told one of the running backs was a Heisman candidate,
you wouldn't have thought it was Ollie Gordon.
Nobody would have thought it was Ollie Gordon. You would have thought Jaquindon Jackson was the Heisman candidate out of that.
We shut that down.
Yeah.
While I'm getting to that, if y'all take John's comment, which it's never going to change because it hadn't changed yet.
Yeah. Yeah, John Caldwell says Pittman needs to lose the good old boy attitude and get mean. I just don't think he's got it in him to get mean. I think he is forever the good cop, and he's got to have somebody else on staff that can be the bad cop. I just don't think he has it in him.
Bobby, whenever you're ready to be the bad cop, please do, because it's very clear. And I'm gonna put the spotlight dead ass on the coaching staff. Okay, it is obvious the defense and the defensive staff did their homework, did what they were supposed to do, and did it in practice. Okay, the offense, again, here we are, same year, same staff, Same, new year, new plays, new coaching staff, same story, different verse.
It's a lack of execution on the offensive side, and it's not. At this time, I didn't feel like it, for the most part, it was the play call. I didn't like the final play call of the game because, again, you had three.
You can't tell me Oklahoma State didn't know that was coming. 3
linemen against 4 defenders. That's not going to work. I don't care if unless you got Barry Sanders in the backfield, that's not going to work. And it just, for whatever reason, but it's beginning to look like the smartest move that Pittman made in the offseason. Everybody's talking about the hire of Bobby Petrino. We need to talk about the hire of T-Will, because what he's done with this defense to this point, man,
that's what I'm saying.
Quite the turnaround.
I'm trying to look on Twitter for comments from his post-game press conference, and I'm not seeing
anything. I'm looking as well, and I'm not seeing anything yet.
Our buddy over at Locked On Oklahoma State, Cody Stovall, he is having I've been watching his Twitter. He
about melted down during the game, didn't he?
Yeah. This is one from Andrew Hutchinson over at hogbeat.com. Because Arkansas doesn't have a kicker it trusts, it went for it on 4th and 5 and came up a yard short.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on? I think, if I'm trying to remember on that play, we ran on that play where we did not convert, correct?
Mm-hmm. Taylor Green straight up the middle.
Okay. So 2 of the 4th downs that we failed to convert, that one and the one at the very end of the game, we're running the ball.
Bobby don't trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think Bobby trusts
and with good reason.
Yeah. I mean,
got the final stat line on Jaquindon Jackson here real quick.
All right.
Had 24 carries, 149 yards, average 6.2 per carry with 3 touchdowns and a long of 26.
That's a pretty good day's work.
Yeah. But again, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter in a loss.
Yeah. And he got I don't know if he kept cramping up or if he had a hammy that was trying to tighten up on him or what, but I mean he was in and out in the second half there quite a bit. He'd go over and hit the trainer table for a couple plays and then be back in for 2 or 3 plays and limp off.
When he got carried off by the trainers, it started out holding his hand, then he was holding he was limping, and then he was holding his rib. What?
Well, the last time he went off, he didn't come back.
No, he did come back in.
Oh, he did?
He busted a big run in that second overtime.
Oh, that's right. He did. That's right. I forgot about that. That's my bad. So it kind of begs the question, where was he at on that last play? Instead of the little, and I don't mean this disrespectful at all, but that dude's no bigger than Fred Talley. And you got him running up the middle. I mean,
well, but at the same time, MC, on that last play, you can't tell me Oklahoma State wasn't ready for the run.
Yeah,
no matter who had the ball, they were ready for the run.
Yeah. So let me ask you this on that last play, because I think I threw this out there earlier, and I don't know if we ever got around to the answer or not. Did Bobby get overruled on that last play call?
Ooh.
Because that doesn't seem to fit the motif of everything else he had called up to that point.
Ooh.
That could go either way. That could be Bobby got overruled.
Or Bobby was putting out at sea.
Or Bobby was trying to outsmart Oklahoma State by doing something he wouldn't normally do and got a little too fancy for himself.
Yeah,
he went away from his tendencies and overthought it.
But at the same time, you cannot, no matter what, you cannot tell me Oklahoma State was not prepared for the run. Whether it been Taylor Green, Jaquindon Jackson, Big Red himself going out there.
Yeah.
Okay. They were ready. They stacked the box and knew the run was coming.
Hey, Jesse, throw up Jonathan Parker's last couple comments there, because he's got a couple of really good points here. First one, just missed the field goal drive before on that play. It was a pass, but Blackstone got beat and Green took off. Pittman said Jackson was cramping. Okay, so there's our answer on Jaquindon Jackson. Get that man some pickle juice and some mustard packets. And then he's talking about here on the last play of the game, I think Green made the wrong read. Obviously, yeah. Hindsight's going to say 100% he did. You know, I don't know if he saw a crease and thought maybe because Hill is pretty small in stature, he could have slid through there. I don't know. I mean, we can sit here and question it in hindsight all day long. So if we want to get down to it, it never should have come down to that. This game never should have went to 1 overtime, much less 2.
Yeah, this one shouldn't. So one of our good friends, Trevor Kaiser, sent me this, and this is his take on this, and I want to get you guys as well. He said this was all players. The coaches were on point. Turnovers that should not have happened. The punt return was the turning point for the game. It should have been 27-0 at half. Special teams needs to get a boot shoved up their butts. 54 on O-line needs to be replaced. Missed block after missed block. Talen's greenhorn showed in the final seconds of regulation. But
Greenhorn. We have a new nickname.
Yes, we do. But we walk away with our heads held high and win the rest. The first half Hogs come out every single time, and we last the whole game. We will be 11-1. Woo damn pig. Okay, rant over.
I mean, I can't disagree with him on it. You know, the coach. I didn't really, and again, I only saw half the game. First half, I was audio only, but I don't remember listening to anything in the first half or seeing anything that the coaches did in the second half that made me think, WTF, what are we doing? Yeah. You know, last year, all these 1-score losses that we had, there was at least 1 or 2 plays in the 1 or 2 instances in the fourth quarter where Pittman or one of the other coaches would do something and be like, what in the world are you doing? And I didn't see that today.
When I did
if it was there, y'all tell me, because I missed it.
Well, when I did, there were several times I went, what are you doing? What are you? But it was more
But it was players.
But it was the players' execution, not on the coaching,
yeah.
not on play calls. Okay?
To echo what you're saying right there, Talon Greenhorn got bailed out, and we're going to do that for a while until he redeems himself off of that.
I may not be able to keep a straight face if that happens.
His clock management at the end of the game, the kicker bailed him out when he nailed that big 45-yard field goal.
He did.
Because his clock management to that point had been god awful, like Les Miles-ish.
Now, there was one point, and I forget, Jesse, you might have to help me. It was either in the first half or early in the second, where play clock was running, but the ref was still holding off our center, and he backed off with like 5 seconds to go, and then calls a delay of game.
It was less than 5 seconds to go. Mm-hmm. And that's gamesmanship on Oklahoma State's part. Pittman made too late of a sub, and they took advantage of it.
Okay, so that wasn't.
That was a legit thing.
It was a late sub.
Okay,
because when the offense, you have to allow the defense an opportunity to sub, and when the offense makes a late sub, the defense has the opportunity to match. By that point, we were late into the play clock.
Again, piss poor clock management.
Yes.
And there's no rules saying how fast you have to run off the field. And if you watch the replay, it was they subbed a lineman, and that lineman just jogged off.
Yep. Well, and I'm going to pull this off of Twitter here, because this is from Trey Biddy, that he tweeted this an hour ago, and I know exactly when he's talking about in the game. It's at the end of regulation. He says, if you're going to spike the ball, don't move the wide receivers across the field. Just line up and spike the ball. You wasted like 10 seconds there. Yeah. Also, spike the ball with 12 seconds left. Arkansas got the field goal, but, man, that was tight. Captains are at midfield now. It was right. So it was right at the end of regulation. I know exactly when he's talking about. And he did. I don't know if maybe Taylor Green thought on the previous play that, I think it was Armstrong that had caught the pass that put us down there in field goal range. I don't know if maybe he thought he got out of bounds or what, but he wasted way too much time trying to get things set just to go up and spike the ball. I mean, you let probably a good 10 seconds run off the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was at least 10 seconds on the play clock. It was horrible.
So, hang on. Let me get back to this because I just saw a quote. And
While you're looking, I'm going to throw up this comment real quick.
Okay, I got it. You want to read the comment first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to another one after this, Jesse.
Right.
The one right above it, the Jernigan.
Yeah,
Daniel Watkins. Losing a game where you have 300 yards in the first half, 600 plus total yards, where your D doesn't allow a touchdown for 3 quarters, where you have more passing yards than OSU's total offense, when you run 20 more plays, control time of possession, and still find a way to lose, that's on everybody in all caps. Penalties, turnovers, subbing errors, horrendous kicking, special teams, can't even run a proper damn spike. Timeouts, clocks mismanaged, one of the most epic collapses I've ever seen. I can't argue with you, Daniel. The only thing I have to say is, if that's the most epic collapse you've ever seen, have you ever watched an Arkansas game prior to today?
I will argue with the timeouts. I think Sam used his timeouts when he needed to.
I just have one thing.
He gave us a chance with 50 seconds left to tie it up, and we tied it up.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, yes, I can't argue with anything.
Before I get to Sam Pittman's comment here that I found on Twitter, okay. Let me agree with MC and say, yeah. Sorry, Jesse. I know I took it over for a second. Jesse's like, "Well, y'all stop touching my board."
Yeah.
No. So this is coming from Twitter. Sam Pittman on his decision to pass on the field goal late against Oklahoma State. Quote: "I just felt like at that point we had just missed one from that same distance. Felt like we needed some momentum, and honestly, felt like we would make it on 4th and 5."
I didn't have a problem with going for it right there. This is the one we talked about earlier in the show where it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. And I felt like he made the right call. I have given him so much flack in games past for not making the right call, for not going for it when I felt like he should have. So I'm going to cut him slack on this one because I felt like that was the right call to try to go for it for the exact reason he put out there. We needed a little momentum. Felt confident that with the way the line had played and the push we'd been getting all day, felt like you're going to get that because it 4th and 3, 4th and 4, something like that. You know, I don't hate that.
Do me a favor before we get to that last comment. That
I
MC
got one
wanted.
more for MC to read too.
Okay.
Trevor Kaiser just put that comment up there. He just commented, said, "Should we start a countdown to the first Fire Sam tweet?" Guess what? They've already started.
I started to say you're behind, Trevor.
They have already started. They are week 2 and they're already calling for Sam's head.
I can't put this one on the coaching staff today.
I mean, you can, but you can't. You can't completely put it on the coaching staff like we did last year.
Not like last year. There is not, to me, I can't think of, multiple situations in this game where the coach's call was so boneheaded that it made me want to break something. I can't think of a moment where that happened. Now, the player's execution, that's a different story because I felt like there were multiple times we didn't have the execution that we should have had. But I felt like the play calls were there. Either we held the ball too long, or we fumbled the snap, or there was a bad snap, or insert, your own choice here.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just me.
Speaking on that, MC, I think, and we talked about this a little pre-show, the pressure got to him.
Oh,
absolutely.
If you think about
100%.
this, Tyrone Broden does not have much experience in this kind of pressure. Taylon Green definitely does not have experience in this kind of pressure. Our new offensive lineman.
Yep.
We've got so many pieces that came from smaller programs or didn't see playing time. They're not used to the pressure. This was the first time they played in a high pressure situation, and pressure makes diamonds or it makes coal.
So I got 2 things I'm going to say because John Caldwell's got a very good question. And it seems to be something that most people in our Camp Productions live fan feedback keep asking. But I came across this tweet on Twitter or X or Threads or whatever the hell you want to call it. It says, Sam Pittman is to the Razorbacks what Jerry Jones is to the Cowboys.
I wouldn't go that far yet.
Yeah. I see the where you could make that similarity. I don't know that it is
You can
to that level yet.
However, I want to tell everyone the season is just getting underway. Okay.
But this is all of the bad history coming back, and everybody's expecting, since we emptied the 6-shooter into our own foot today, that it's going to be all downhill from here. Look, even Mr. Doom and Gloom here himself,
Captain Optimistic,
is not ready to say, remain calm, all is well, in the Kevin Bacon sense from Animal House. Everybody calm down. Let's go back. Let's regroup. We have offensive coaches and defensive coaches now that I believe will take this, and I want to see if we can learn from this, because what happened in this game today in the high-pressure situations is going to happen again in an SEC game. Do we make the same mistakes, or do we learn from today and possibly pull out a game later in the season that nobody expects us to win?
So you have the home opener next week against UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Yep.
The Blazers. The very next week, you go back on the road to Auburn.
Yeah.
On the road at Auburn. If you play like you played today, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna piss off half the fan base, but I speak the truth here. If you play like you played today, and the difference of two halves, Auburn's going to run you out of Jordan Hare. Okay, because where did I see it? Daniel Watkins says, not on the fire Sam train, but where does it get easier from here? Ole Miss, Texas, LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn are all watching this second half, licking their chops.
Yeah, it's not going to get easier. UAB.
You're in the SEC, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't
UAB
get easier
and Louisiana Tech. That's your
it doesn't even get easier there. You can't even say it's going to get easy against Mississippi State, and they're trash. All right.
I'm gonna go back to this comment MC was wanting to get back to earlier.
Yeah, my bad,
we
y'all.
forget about it. No, we're
right.
good. We got the comments coming in. Y'all keep them coming. We'll keep reacting as long as y'all want to talk.
As long as y'all are here with us, we're gonna be hanging out with you. So,
Eric Jernigan Eric's a buddy of mine. I wanted to be sure and get this in because I have seen him in this mood before. I know what this is. I've just now quit being a jerk to everybody around me. This game got to me. Arkansas was by far and away the more talented team on the field. Just stupid mistake after stupid mistake. My head hurts. I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. That's the thing.
It felt like, listening to what I listened to in the first half, it really felt like we were the more talented team. And I think even Chuck and Quinn believed that too, because it just seemed like whatever we tried to do, we were able to do in the first half.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this, and I'm going to try to ask this where I don't sound like a dummy, which y'all know this is not going to be hard.
Easier said than done, Zach.
Shut up. I knew you were going to say that. Okay, so the thought just occurred to me, and y'all know how much it hurts when I start thinking.
Right.
Let's say we go 3-9. Okay. But the 9 losses are all like this and 1 score or less games. Do you go to the end of the season and go, or do you finally go, Sam, you're done?
Okay, so let me clarify on how you're asking this. Are you asking this of us if we are Hunter Yurachek or if we are ourselves in the AD position? Because if I'm trying to predict what Hunter Yurachek is going to do versus what MC is going to do, they're going to be 2 totally different things.
Well, yeah, because so, and this has been going around on Twitter too. How can Hunter Yurachek hire somebody like a Hall of Fame coach with John Calipari and still keep Sam Pittman as head coach of the football team?
Hunter Yurachek didn't hire Cal.
Yes, I was going to say, let's be entirely honest here. He didn't hire Calipari. He got a phone call that said, "Hey, look, I'm going to be able to make this happen. Just just don't screw this up, okay? Just go along with what I'm telling you. I'm going to give you a bunch of money, so just don't screw it up.
But you have to look at it. I mean, the more and there is a section of our fan base.
Right.
You cannot deny this, what I'm about to say. There is a section of our fan base that live and die by moral victories. Let me tell you guys something, okay? There are no such things as moral victories in football. There are no such things as moral victories in life. Life will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. Quoting Rocky Balboa, I know. But enough with the moral victories. Enough with the, hey, keep our heads up, man. It was fine. No big deal. Your job is to win football games. And if you cannot do that, it's time to hang it up.
Well, and I think there's a difference in being one of these people that thrives on moral victories and being able to take positives from today. There are some positives to take from today. There's more negatives than there are positives, but there are some positives. I saw this team do things that last year's team wouldn't have done. There were at least 2 or 3 moments in this game where I felt like last year's team would have folded up shop and just completely let go of the rope and gotten ready to go get on the bus and go back to Fayetteville. This team never gave up.
Already have.
I mean,
it looked like they had, though.
I didn't feel like that they ever really gave up.
To an extent.
I didn't feel like they quit fighting.
It looked like they panicked just enough to let everything get to them, and that got them rattled enough to finally
panic and letting go of the rope are 2 different things.
They didn't quit.
Yeah, that's my only thing. They didn't quit.
I think they got scared enough that they started playing not to lose the game.
They got scared. They did get scared, and they started overthinking. Instead of just playing, they started thinking about it. And when you stop playing to win and start playing to not get beat, it's going to get you beat.
Jonathan Parker hits the nail right on the head. Right on the head. And he says last year's team would have been done after the pick 6.
Probably.
You better freaking. Does anybody remember the Texas A&M
fiasco? Yeah.
But again, I will say this. I want to know what it will take to bring Cam Little back to Arkansas, because holy crap, we need a field goal. We need a kicker bad.
Well,
and here's the thing. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit and say Sam Pittman still gets to keep his job. Scott Fountain's got to go.
If we go 3-9 and Sam Pittman is the coach,
that's different, though. I'm talking right now.
Right now, they're not going to do anything.
It's
week 2.
It's week 2. They're not going to do anything.
They don't wait.
We got a kicker coming next year. We got gypped this year because we expected to have Cam, and a kicker left early for the draft and got drafted, which never happens.
And he's starting kicker. He's listed as starting kicker tomorrow for Jacksonville.
Yeah, he is. And if you think I'm going to tune into that game as a Cowboy fan, you better believe it.
Yeah, I just, you've got to. The worst thing that can happen now is the team lets this linger and we get a half-assed performance next Saturday. I mean, you've got to, it's over with. It's done. You go do your film study. You look at everything that went wrong. You learn from it. You move forward, which is something we've not done in the past.
Yep.
I would say the last 2 years, we have let 1 loss turn into 2, 2 turn into 3, and so forth. You can't let that happen. You need to go out and you need to make a statement against UAB, and you need to put your foot on their throat and snap their neck early, and then just keep piling on.
I want to see, okay, so if we're going to go that route, I want to see a combination of the UAPB win and the fight in this team this week. I want to see them completely destroy, humiliate, demoralize UAB, because Uncle Mo will be on their side. You take that momentum into Auburn. Okay. Auburn's gonna be just as tough, if not tougher, than Oklahoma State.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's 11 on 14. Or 15, 16.
It usually is when we go down
they
there.
are.
And I swear to God, if Mark Curls is the ref for that game, I may actually lose my mind.
Surely not. I don't think he's on the field anymore. I think he's been moved into an off-field role.
He's off the field now.
I don't care. I'm still bitter, and let me be that way. Eric Jernigan, you want to take this one, MC?
Yeah, I'll take this. Eric makes a really good comment here. If I'm being really truthful, the only way I want Sam gone is if Bobby gets the head coaching position again. If they are going to fire Sam and bring in somebody else, Bobby is in all probability gone. A new head coach will clean house. I think Bobby P is one of the premier play callers in the game in the last 20 years. Don't want to lose him. I can't argue with that, man. Some of the plays that he dialed up, even though we did not execute, if you look at the plays that were dialed up in certain situations, I mean, he made the correct call. That said, I don't think there's any way that Bobby's going to be the head coach again unless Sam is fired before the season's out and it's in an interim role. That's the only way I see it happening.
My buddy called me before the show today, or before the game today, and he asked me what I thought about Bobby P being head coach. And I said it's not going to happen unless Sam retires.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if it's to the point we have to fire Sam, that means Bobby's not producing enough on offense, and they're going to fire the whole staff. A lot of people have this fantasy that we're going to fire Sam and give it to Bobby. If we fire Sam, the whole staff's gone and we're starting from scratch.
Yep.
That's
Again.
just how it works.
Here's my argument to all of that.
Okay.
And I know my hot take at the beginning of the season was Arkansas is going to go 2-4. Sam gets the boot. They give it to Bobby. We run the table, go 8-4. Everybody knows the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. However, I don't think Bobby Petrino wants to be a head coach anymore because of
piece of it. Yeah.
Because of the state of college football.
Yep.
Okay. If that were the case, why wasn't he named interim head coach at A&M? Why wasn't he interviewed, that we know of, for the head coaching job at A&M? Why wasn't he named head coach at A&M? Okay. I don't think Bobby wants to be a head coach anymore because of the way that college football has evolved. Same reason Nick Saban got out of the game. Okay. Same reason Urban Meyer's not coming back. Other reasons than that.
I know you're getting ready to wrap up, Zach, but they read our mind with this comment.
Yep. It's like y'all were in our private chats before we started the show.
That's creepy.
Joshua Gage kicks after his performance at UAPB. Do y'all think QB2 Malachi Singleton should have had a shot in the second half after Green kept having so many errors? I will say this: it would not have bothered me in the least to have seen Malachi Singleton on a series coming in, even if it was just for a few plays, just so you could pull Talon off to the side, let Bobby talk to him, say, hey, man, take a breath, calm down, make your reads, do what we know you can do. But I really felt like that Talon could have used that calming, break, I guess, for lack of a better term. And Bobby knows these quarterbacks inside and out. I mean, the man's an offensive genius. He's going to know. He's not going to put Malachi in a situation where he can't succeed. So maybe you just give him some simple play calls, even if it's just for a play or two. It's kind of like in basketball. Your star player picks up 2 quick fouls. You set him down. Like, hey, man, calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. Settle down. Let the game come to you. Quit trying to force things. And then you turn around and put him right back in. I would not have hated to have seen that.
How many times last year on the basketball team did we say stop trying to be the hero and just play ball?
Just let it come to you. Stop trying to force things. Let it come to you. And we've hit this. I think
Malachi should have had a shot today.
What's that?
I said I think Malachi should have had a shot today.
I mean,
that's
in Bobby we trust. So Bobby didn't want to put him in, or I think he would have.
Hey, so before we get out of here, I gotta brag on my kid. She endured the game with me today. But I usually don't kind of promote off brands non-official merchandise. But I gotta give props. This Hanes jersey from Walmart,
That looks pretty cool,
bro, and it's soft as hell. So if y'all need one, go get one. It's comfortable. It breathes when it's hot. It's only $30 at Walmart, and they did not pay me to say that, by the way. That's just my own personal opinion. But man, looking ahead, Jesse, do we have the specifics on UAB? I believe that's a 3:30 kickoff from Fayetteville, correct?
Give me just a second.
I believe that's right. I know it's either 3 or 3:15.
I think it's 3:15. Yes, 3:15 on the SEC network.
Yep.
Okay.
There you are.
I will not be on air next weekend. I will be attending our very own Dylan Madden's wedding. Congratulations to those two.
Yeah, congrats, D-Mad. I'm sorry I won't make it, man, but my kid's playing at Osceola at 11 o'clock and trying to get from Osceola to the location of the wedding. I don't have the Carlton private Learjet fueled up, so that would be tough to make that.
But I will be there, so it will be in the capable hands of my counterparts here, MC and the Beard. Anything else before we get out of here? MC, we'll wrap up with you, starting with final thoughts.
A lot of learning points from today. Now we find out if this team is going to be built different than last year. Are you going to take the loss, take your lump here, use it as a learning experience and get better? Or are you going to go soft and pout and let one loss become two? And the last thing I got to say before we get out of here, got to shout out my son's team today. They started their season 1-0. The Bono Warhawks, baby. 44-6 over Walnut Ridge Bobcats. Woo! Took care of business. Getting ready to go to Osceola next weekend.
There it is. There was something I was going to say. The curse strikes again. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out our podcast. Yep. We will be sitting down and talking with some guys from UAB next week. So be looking for that pod to come out following our show on Wednesday night. Going to be a good conversation there to kind of get you guys set for UAB. But Jesse, the Beard, Thurman, what are your final thoughts, my friend?
Final thoughts are we got to clean up the stupid penalties. We got to execute. We know they can execute. We seen it last week against UAPB.
Yep.
And a lot of these, it was better competition, but it was wide open throws, wide open catches. Execute. Start with execution. Fix the execution. 6-6 is on the table. Execute like we did in the second half. My 5-7 may be a pipe dream.
Yeah. That's fair. For sure.
That's fair.
That is for sure. Next time we're coming at you is Wednesday night, 7 p.m. for Inside the Hog Pen. We're going to have continuing analysis. We're going to put a bow on Oklahoma State and get you set for pregame and UAB. And we're going to talk a little something else. We're going to see what else unfolds after all of this. So keep an eye out on all your social medias. Make sure you guys follow, like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do to make sure that you don't miss any of the action here at Inside the Hog Pen. For Marcus, MC Carlton, Jesse the Beard Thurman, I'm Razorback Zach. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter postgame show. Until next time, go Hogs. So long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider. And be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.